Started? I'm a leader. And I can.
Hey, you're Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Good evening. We're going to start. It's a huge kavod to have all of you here, such wonderful people who have come together to celebrate the learning that has been done. I'm Yaffa Epstein, and I wanted to start, we have a custom of you start with the honor of the hosts. So we just wanted to have a huge thank you to Lincoln Square Synagogue for hosting this event and opening their doors to us and just really being so incredibly welcoming, and it's amazing to be in this beautiful space with this wonderful community. A special thank you to Rabbi Shaul Robinson and Lincoln Square Synagogue President Shirley Stark. It's really quite wonderful that they have given us this opportunity, and we're very grateful. And as we're starting with gratitude, I want to thank the entire Siyum committee. There is a wonderful committee of women who are behind this event and making it successful and making it happen. So I want to thank everyone by name: Wendy Amsellem, Shauna Bloom, Chava Evans, Miriam Gedwiser, Michelle Greenberg-Kobrin, Yardaena Osband, and Elana Stein, Hain, and Sharon Weiss-Greenberg for all of their hard work. Hours and hours went into, and many email chains went into making this happen. So it's a huge thank you. And also specifically, I want to thank two of our wonderful, amazing Torah teachers who are here specially to give shiurim, who were not on the committee, but who are dedicating their time and arrange their schedules specifically to be here. Rosh Kehillah, Dina Najman, and Dr. Fresh Schwartz, thank you so much for being with us and giving shiurim. So I just wanted to say a few short words of thanks to all of the women who have participated in the Siyums. It's really unbelievable how many women have joined, how many countries were represented, how many different organizations and just different kinds of women, different kinds of leaders, how they took up the call. It was very interesting at the very beginning. There was sort of this feeling of like, are we really gonna be able to do this? And they're like, you shouldn't be so ambitious, just pick Tanakh. And I was like, what? No, we can do this. We can make this happen. And with everyone's amazing attitude and desire to learn and to bring Torah to the world, we were way above, like 100 and something % for both Tanakh and for Shas, and it's just really, it was very personally very inspiring. And one of the things that I'm very grateful for is that I actually met a lot of women through this learning project that I didn't know, who were leaders in the Jewish community that I didn't know yet, and it's been like really incredible to get to know someone through learning. As I was thinking about what to say, I have to say that the phrase that kept coming up in my mind was Talmidei Chachamim Marbim Shalom Ba'olam. That students of Torah, that learners of Torah, that teachers of Torah bring more peace to the world. And I think that idea of Marbim is really interesting. It's not just that they create peace or bring peace one time, but there's an increase in peace, in wholeness, in shleimut. And I really feel like this Siyum was an opportunity for that, for us to all come together across different communities, different countries, and really just decide that we're going to put Torah at the center. What really matters for all of us, we have in common, what unites us, is Torah and learning and spreading Torah to more people, teaching it, and that's why it's really beautiful and important that we have people tonight here who are going to be giving shiurim, to not just have the learning be for ourselves, but actually making sure that it's spread out. And that's part of why we wanted to live stream, and we're going to be recording, because we want to make sure that it's about also bringing our Torah out into the community. Just as like a small side point, like example of how amazing I think this has been. Dr. Elana Stein, who is my partner in crime. Elana and I really didn't know each other before this event, and we like met like once or twice, and we liked each other a lot, but we hadn't really like known each other well. And now we've spent many hours on the phone and many emails, and I just think it's been really special for me, like a very personally very special opportunity to get to know Elana and her greatness, and really an example of what Torah can do, how Torah can bring people together, and really create a wholeness, create a completion, build community. And I'm just really, really grateful to everyone who took part in it and everyone who's here tonight, even if you didn't have a chance to be part of the Siyum, but to join us and to take your place in celebrating this. I'm really just very, very grateful. So thank you to all of you out there in the world and all of us here for bringing yourselves, bringing your dedication, and helping to bring more Torah and more shlemut, more wholeness and togetherness to the world.
So I just want to tell a story. I'm Elana Stein. Hi, everybody. I just want to tell a story, which is a few months ago, there was a real tempest in a teapot. In the sense, there was just a lot of negativity within the modern Orthodox community about what the future was going to be, and schism, and this and that, and women and men. And it was really nice. I happened to be on these wonderful listservs. There's a listserv that the OLP started, the Orthodox Leadership Project. There's a listserv that Jofa started. Listservs of just women who are in clergy or Jewish leadership talking to each other. And on this listserv, everybody was talking, how do I feel? And this negativity. And Yaffa Epstein said, let's just learn. Let's just make a Siyum. And in that moment of just saying, the values here are not debate in a negative sense. The values here are, let's just be in it and all together and kind of show that even across difference, we all love each other. And we all feel like we're part of one big community. And I think Yaffa did it. Everywhere I went, people would say to me, oh, I'm part of the Siyum, I'm part of the Siyum, I'm part of the Siyum. It was just an incredible, incredible thing. So what I actually want to do for a few minutes is I want to read the names of all of the women who learned for the Siyum. Okay? Now you may know some of them are from this side of the pond. Some of them are from this coast. Some of them are from the West Coast. There was a Siyum actually in LA several weeks ago. There are women from England. There are women from Israel. There are women from culminating countries on this list, and I want to pay them homage. Dina Gerber, Ali Bloom, this is Tanakh. Dina Gerber, Ali Bloom, Alyssa Thomas Newborn, Atara Gorsetman, Ayelet Kahana, Beth Chaya Gorsetman, Deborah Ann Standig, Devorah Levine Katz, Elana Stein Hain, Esther Joel, Gitti Bentheim, Jennifer Seligman, Laura Shaw Frank, Maria Novak, Meira Zach, Melissa Schulten Gutierrez, Michal Parat Zibman, Nama and Michelle Kobrin. You'll hear a number of parent-child pairs, which is just beautiful. Michal Baton, Miriam Leg, Liel, Molly Sharfman, Nava Kogan, Penny Joel, Pessy Katz, Rachel Karen, Rachel Krause, Rachel Shana and Carol Patton, Rivka Hertzfeld, Rivka Press Schwartz, Sarah Stern Strobel, Shani Gross, Sharon Weiss-Greenberg, Sophie Felder, Suri Rudolph, the Susswein Tester family, Tali Schaum Broder, Tammy Jacobowitz, Yardaena Osband, Yonina Bentheim Jacobson. And now, Balfour. Abby Brown Shire, Adina Berkowitz, Adina Morgan, Adina Fredman, Adina Pupko, Alana Eben, Alexandra Berger-Polsky, Alyssa Thomas Newborn, Ali Alperovich, Anat Novoselsky, Anat Sharbat, Andrea Weiss, Ann Gordon, Ann Pettit, Ariella Newberger, Atara Cohen, Atara Lindenbaum, Audrey Trackman, Avi Strausberg, Avital Chiswick Goldschmidt, Avital Engelberg, Avital Hochstein, Avital Morris and Sarah Zager, Avital Morris and Maya Rosen, Aviva Richmond, Ayelet Libson, Ayla, who needs no last name, Basi Weiler, Batya Hefter, Becca Sender Israel. I'm up to B. I just want you to internalize. I'm up to B. Bina Brogy, Blue Greenberg, Bracha Jaffe, Bracha Rutner, Brauna Deutsch, Brenda Schindler, Carmela Abraham, Chana Zukier, Chani Bloom, Chana Lukshin Bob, Chava Evans, Chaya Bina Katz, Chumi Juni, Claudia Marga, Dahlia Wolfson, Donna Fishkin, Dasi Fruchter, Davida Kolmar, Debbie Zimmerman, Deborah Burstein-Lewis, Deborah Renner, Deborah Kobrin-Levy, Dina Weiss, Devorah Schoenfeld, Devorah Wolf, Devorah Zlotchauer, Dina Breuer, Elana Stein-Hain, Ilanit Jacobitz, Eliana Yorav, Elisheva Kupferman, Elisheva Schlanger, Elizabeth Kirshner, Ellie Schenker, Emma Kipley-Ogman, Erica Brown, Erin Lieb-Smokler, Erin London, Esty Fleischman, Esther Stown-Katz, Esty Rollhouse, Francesca Kritz, Gila Golder, Gila Beeler-Hock, Hope, Gila Rosen, Goldie Guy, Hannah Figgett, Hindi Ginsburg, Alana Gadish, Irya Mordechai, Jacqueline Nichols, Jenny Rosenfeld, Gina Davidovich, Julia and Ariel Frankston Morris, Julia Yanofsky Goldstein, Kayla Ahrens Abraham, Lauren Lustig. I have no idea if you're hating this list or you're loving this list, but this list must be read. Lauren Steinberg, Leah Rosenthal, Leah Sarna, Leora Niederberg, Lila Kajdan, Lisa Septimus, Lucy Chase, Lynn Kay, Lital Kaufman, Mali Brofsky, Malka Simkovich, Malka Strasberg, Malka Bina, Mary Brett Copeland, and Eliana Mishevsky, Mayan Friedman, Mish Hammer-Kasoy, Meira Welt-Marek, Meira Wolkenfeld, Melanie Landau, Melissa Nunes Harwick, and Orly Lieberman, Melissa Schulten Gutierrez, Mirav Stern and Kathy Rosenbluth, Michelle and Yaira Kobrin, Michal Biton, Mimi Fagelson, Miriam Gedwiser, Miriam Goncharska, Miriam Gross, Miriam Gamliel, Miriam Schachter, Miriam Schwartz, Miriam Simma-Wallfish, Miriam Kitterman. We really like the name Miriam. Molly Sharfman, Nama Levitz Applebaum again, Dina Nyman, Naomi Schrager, Nava Pickman, Nava Kogan, Nechama Goldman Barish, Nisa Berzin Bar, Nomi Berman, Pam Scheininger, Pammy Brenner, Penna Feldman, Benina Grossman, Rachel First, Rachel Kirschbaum, Rachel Cole-Feingold, Rachel Rosenthal, Rachel Weber-Lashall, Rachel B., Rami Smith, Rebecca Linzer, Rebecca Winter-Gottlieb, Rebecca Applebaum, Rivka Press-Schwartz, Rivka Rich, Rivka Saltoff-Feinbart, Rivka Stern, Rory Picker-Niece, Rose Landau, Ruth Polinsky-Friedman, Ruth Langer, Samara Schwartz, Sandra Cohen, Sarah Brandis, Sarah Fredman Ader, Sarah Hurwitz, Sarah Tova Brody, Sarah Wolkenfeld, Sarah Barefoot, Sarah Hass Robinson, Sarah Nemzer Cole, Sarah Robinson, Sarah Rudolph, Sarah Steinberg, Sarah Zager, Shelhevit Schwartz, Shayna Bloom, Shauna Stroud-Schick, Sharon Weiss-Greenberg, Shayna Finman, Shira Hanau, Shira Heft-Kohler, Shira Schmidman, Shira Zimmerman, Shlomit Cohen, Shlomit Naim Naor, Shana Levin, Shoshana Chanelis, Shoshana Michael Zukier, Sivya Twersky, Tali Adler, Tali Schaum-Broder, Tali Furleiter, Talia Kachin, Tamar Novetsky, Tanya Farber, Tehila Elitzur, Tehila Levy, Vera Wexler, Victoria Ron, Victoria Sutton, and Frida Gonchor Cohen. Vivian Koenig, Wendy Amsellem, Yal Steiner, Yal Jaffe, Yal Leibowitz, and Jenny Kruger, Yaffa Epstein, Rivka Epstein, Alana Fodeman Silverman, Yardaena Osband and Ora Glazer, Yehudit Epstein, Yocheved Pienko Feinerman. I would just like to give these ladies a round of applause. Over 250 people from all over the world decided that they could learn Torah together. And I think it's really the model. Yaffa, you've done something amazing here, and the 250 people who participated have done something amazing, and the committee who put this together have done something amazing, and it's something that none of these 250 people, or the people they learned with, or the people who sat at their Shabbos table and heard what they were doing, will ever, ever forget. That in a moment of negativity, when we say to ourselves, in some ways the world in general feels like it's crumbling, globally, and sometimes it feels like our world in the modern Orthodox community is getting so intensely ridden with debate and dispute and argument that there are moments when we can just say, just the positive. Let's just live in the positive. And before we all go off to learn, and as you might imagine, given our group, we're going to have fewer learning groups than we originally planned, but you'll get to sample some of what the different people learned here, which is really a beautiful thing. I just want to end with the bracha, right? The bracha that many of us know and love. which is a description of Rabbi Yitzchak and Rav Nachman sitting at the table. They're telling Divrei Torah, and when it's time to leave, the conversation moves to, let's give a bracha. It's a Gemara in Tanakh, and I just want to read it with you for a moment. Amar le, livar chanmar. One said to the other, give me a bracha. We're leaving each other, give me a blessing. And this is after they had talked Torah together over their meal. Amar le, here's my blessing. Em sholacha mashal. I'm going to give you a metaphor. Lema davar domeh. What is this situation like? La'adam shaya olech b'midbar v'haya ra'ev v'ayev v'tzameh. Like a person who was walking in the wilderness and they found themselves hungry and they found themselves tired and they found themselves thirsty. Umatza ilan sheperotav metukin v'tzilo na'eh v'amat hamayim overet tachtav. And they found this amazing tree in the middle of nowhere that had these sweet fruits and had this wonderful shade and had a brook running by. Achal meperotav, this poor wanderer, this poor traveler and sojourner, ate from the fruit, v'shatami meimav, and drank from the water, v'yashav b'tzilo, and sat in its shade. Ukeshebikesh lelech, and when it was time to go, Amar, the person said, the traveler said, Ilan, Ilan, b'meh avarechecha, tree, with what can I bless you? Im omar lecha sheyu perotecha metukin, harei perotecha metukin. I hope you're all hearing this in your head as a song. That if you want me to give you the bracha that your fruits should be sweet, they already are. Sheyehei tzilcha na'eh, that your shade should be enjoyable. Harei tzilcha na'eh, it already is. Shetehei amat hamayim overet tachtecha, that you should have a stream running by. Harei amat hamayim overet tachtecha, you already have that. Ela yihi ratzon shekol mitiyot shenot'in mimcha yiyu kimotcha. That may it be God's will that everything that is planted from you should be like you. Afata, likewise, say these two Amoraic interlocutors, Afata, so with you, b'meh avarechecha, with what can I bless you? Im b'Torah, harei Torah. If it's in Torah, you've got it. Im ba'osher, harei osher, if it's with wealth, you've got it. Im b'vanim, harei banim, if it's with children, you've got it. But rather, may it be God's will that your next generation will be like you. And I think what we're doing in showing this unity tonight and all over the world is we're actually saying this is the kind of nitya, this is the kind of plant that we want to grow. This is the kind of forest and embrace that is possible because we already have it. And that's what's going to sow the seeds for the next generation of a successful Judaism and a successful modern Orthodoxy. In a sense, to be able to have that sense. But what astounds me is that the conversation before this beautiful song and bracha is actually, does anybody know what they were talking about at the table before this? Does anybody know what their conversation was? There's a reason you don't know it. Because it's surprising, the juxtaposition. Their conversation beforehand, there's one said to the other, give me a Dvar Torah at the table. And the other said, oh, I'll give you a Dvar Torah. You know, Yaakov Avinu never died because his children lived after him. And the other one said, you know, I'll give you a Dvar Torah. Any person who ever said the name Rachav, as in Rachav in the Bible, would be aroused by that. And then they have a conversation whether, you know, this one's aroused or that one's aroused. And then they finish their conversation. It's fascinating. And then we get into this whole bracha, we're done. That was the conversation, we're done. And I really reflected on this when I was thinking about all the different things that people were learning. Because there's so much in Torah. These conversations are even within Torah. The conversation about the family, the conversation about sexuality, the conversation about continuity. All of these conversations, we all know that somebody here learned a sugya that they were surprised to find somewhere when they were in the middle of learning. But there's something to the nature of that comprehensive conversation that we all engaged in together that is very holistic and it's very whole. And just what I hope we can do is I hope we can actually see all of that and all of that learning in service of some of these niceties of the bigger brachot. And with that, we're going to invite you to sit and learn with people. Now the question is, I just want to make sure, I know that Rivka is going to, Rivka, can you give your chabura on one side of the main sanctuary?
Question, can I keep my voice low enough not to disturb people on the other side?
We have classrooms upstairs. We have classrooms upstairs. So in terms of, we have to figure out for one moment, maybe all the people who were supposed to teach, if you could come up for a minute and we can make a quick decision as to how we want to do this because of our increased quality and decreased quantity. Okay, great. So I think Dina and Rivka and Yardaena are going to give their chaburot all upstairs, and those are going to be the only chaburot tonight, okay? Because we want there to be a nice amount of people going to each one of them. So what we're going to try to do is actually try to have sort of like equal divvying up so that you can have the experience of learning. And what we want to, we want to do that so that you have like the critical mass so it could be very enjoyable. And I want to just say a big thank you to Lincoln Square Synagogue. This is exactly what Lincoln Square Synagogue stands for, this kind of holding the Jewish people together. It's very much in that we're here. So with that, we bid you all upstairs to the classrooms to learn. Don't worry, there's an elevator. And then we'll come back down here and we'll do the Siyum.
There are signs outside the door, so it's going to be Dina, Rivka, and Yardaena. And the signs are upstairs next to the classrooms, okay? Second floor? Second floor, yes. And there is an elevator, people who need.
Yes, I sent an email.
Hi, so we'll be back in a minute. In fact.